122. Okay. So the last time I seen you, we did this. I'm running out of space over there, so I put it over here. I can't really get by it though. But this poster up here. So sum of interior angles for any shape. For any shape, n is the number of sides. And then exterior angles, whenever it's got all those like rays of sunshine, it's 360 no matter what. The rest of the chapter is just on quadrilateral. So for every single one of these, technically my number of sides would be 4. 4 minus 2 times 180 is 2 times 180, which is 360. So all of these make a total of 360 on the inside. So there's a million ways you can think about these. But like in total, all of these inside should make 360 in total. So parallelograms are the most basic one. They all kind of connect, so they're all like a little family tree. Parallelograms is the most basic one. It's the easiest one. And then we move to rectangles, and then we move to rhombus and squares. They're kind of together on the same day. Afterwards, we do trapezoids, because trapezoids are still quadrilateral, but they're a little taco. So properties of parallelograms. We're going to write some stuff first. The first thing is a parallelogram is actually made by shut up. It's made by 2 sets of parallel lines. So you have parallel lines, and then you have another pair of parallel lines that run this way. And then you're like, look at that. On the inside, that shape right there, is a parallelogram. Boom. So you don't have to draw that if you don't want to. But it is constructed by 2 pairs of parallel sides. So 2 pairs of parallel sides. Shut up. You could write the word parallel if you want, but I'm lazy and I suck at spelling. So parallel. So not only are the sides parallel, meaning they never cross, but also they're congruent. So you have opposite sides are congruent. Once again, I'm lazy, so I'm going to put the congruency symbol. So the equal sign with the squiggle means congruent, which literally just means equal. The same thing. The last thing is that you have diagonals. So if this room is technically a type of parallelogram, it's a rectangle. Sorry, I measured it one time. It's not a square. It's actually a rectangle. But anyways, this is like a parallelogram technically. If I were to put in a diagonal from this corner to that corner and that corner to this corner, running crisscross, they would intersect and they would bisect each other. So the diagonals bisect. What does bisect mean? Intercept how? In the middle in half. Yes. So it's basically when diagonals crisscross, they're cutting each other in half. The last 2 I want to put together because they both deal with the angles. So the angles, so now we're talking about inside. Opposite angles are going to be congruent. So if it's the small angle, it's congruent to the small angle. So opposite angles are congruent. And then technically, consecutive angles are not congruent. Consecutive, which means one after another, consecutive angles are supplementary. Does anybody remember what supplementary means? Nice. So they need to add to make 180 degrees. So remember in the beginning of the year, we've made the S into an 8. So what that means is technically, right, go up to this little picture. Opposite angles would be congruent. So if I erase all these extra little pieces of lines, this angle and this angle would match, this angle and this angle would match. Those are opposite angles. But if they're next to each other, like this one and this one, those are not the same. They add to make 180. These 2 are not the same. They add to make 180. And you could literally work all the way around. These 2 add to make 180. These 2 add to make 180. Technically, in total, the entire inside altogether, all 4 interior angles, would add to make 360 degrees. So, using that knowledge, try as much as you can on number 1. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Move your numbers. It's like a puzzle. The sides match. I don't know. Where can 15 go?
15 can go at the bottom.
The bottom. You're a genius. Where can 8 go?
On the left side.
On the left side. Where can 68 go?
On the right side.
On the right side. Here?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Here. B.
Oh.
Okay. Opposite angles are congruent. How do you find the angle next to it? You minus from 180. So if same side, and if you use your eyeballs and a little bit of common sense, this is bigger than this. So they have to add to make 180. They are not the same. So if I subtract from 180, how much is that? 112. And then A would match with C. And then if you want to check, 112, 112, 68, and 68 would add all to make 360 because the inside should make 360. So AD is technically 8, DC is 15, A is 112 degrees, so it should have a bubble, 68 degrees. You minus 68 for 112, because if they're on the same side together like this, they add to make 180. You can either look that way and add to make 180, or you can look this way and add to make 180, but if they're next to each other, they add to make 180. That's why they match, because like, if I'm still 68 in the corner, no matter what, they would have to be the same amount. That's why they're opposite of each other. So C is 112 degrees. Okay, try number 2. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You got this. It'll get a little crazier, but not yet. This is easy. 1, 2, and 3 are easy. 4 you have to think about.
One. Wait, so 20.
So how much is the top? 21. How much is the right side? How much is J? Okay, good. How do you find the other ones? Good. 180 minus 127. How much is that missing angle? 53. So it doesn't matter which way you look. If they're next to each other, they have to add to make 180. I could do the side. I could do the bottom. It doesn't matter because the numbers repeat themselves, and that's why it matches. If you wanted to check, all the inside would add to make 360 once again. So JK is 21. This one's 29. J is 127. K is 53. We feel good, right?
Yeah.
Easy peasy. 3 is also easy. And then we'll move to number 4. So 3 is just sides, but now you have diagonals. You have to think that the diagonals bisect each other. So take a second, move around the numbers that you can. You do have a number on the inside that can move around to one other spot. The diagonals are not congruent, but they bisect each other. So it self-matches itself.
Two. 18.
Okay, UT is 27. ST is 18. How much is V to S?
7.
7, because if this side's 7, this is also 7. Okay. And then VT is 15. There's this extra piece of information that's down here. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know why it's down here and not up by the problem, but like whatevs. So RT, if you didn't see it, is all 30. So that means each little piece would just be 15. So for some reason, these ones are like kind of a little bit below. So the sides are very easy because everything matches. It's top, bottom, side, side. Diagonals bisect each other. They're not congruent. Using your eyeballs, this diagonal is obviously bigger than this one. 4 is where it gets a little confusing, okay? This is not an angle bisector. So people automatically, this is what everybody does. People want to move 21 to the other side of this, but you can't move 21 over there because it's not bisecting the angle. Okay. So we're going to put this piece of information in our picture. It says the measure of FED is 134. So remember, it focuses on the middle, which is E, but it's talking about from F to E to D. So is that the whole thing or half of it? No. Whole. The whole thing is 134. So FED, the whole thing is 134. If this is 71, how much is the other side?
63.
63, because we subtract, right? So this is where that's 63, but whatever. This is where technically parallel lines, chapter 3 comes into play. So from chapter 3 over here on the wall, these are technically parallel lines. You just have multiple sets of parallel lines, which is making the shape. So this is actually parallel lines cut by a transversal. So I made like this diagram first period, and it's been chilling here. I don't like it. So if I have my parallel lines kind of like I drew in the very beginning, the shape itself is created by parallel lines. What it has is an extra transversal, which is creating the diagonal. So we actually have alternate interior angles that jump across the transversal. So if 21 is here, 21 cannot be moved here. 21 can move here because it has to jump across the transversal. So anytime you have a parallelogram, you cannot just put 21 on the other side. Everybody thinks it's an angle bisector. It looks like it, but it's not. It jumps across the transversal. So 21 was up top of the angle, so now it's at the bottom of the angle. So it's jumping across and going underneath. So same thing with here and here. We have 71 on the left side. So now it's jumping across and going at the top to be 71 right here. 63 can go on the other side because it's jumping across. Okay. So let's see if we can fill in what we can based on what we have. Well, this is 5th period. So you guys are kind of okay with reading these, but you have to be able to read 3-letter angles by the EOC. So it's the middle one, which is E. E has 3 possible answers.
60.
So you're starting at D, going to E, going to C. So how much is that? 63. The next one, middle letter is D, but D's going in 3 different sections. It wants C, D, E. That's the whole thing. It is not 42. Does anybody have a big enough brain to figure out how to find it?
180 minus 71.
No,
134 minus 71.
no. Yes, because these two make 134 it together, just like we did on problem number 2. These two angles need to add to make 180 in total. So if this is 134, how much is D all together? 46. So this whole angle is 46 degrees because same side angles. Think about like the whole shape makes 360. So if I literally cover up half of it is 180. So if this is 134, this is 46. So CDE is the whole thing. So that's 46 degrees because it's technically like it's half of the shape. So if the full shape makes 360, half of it makes 180. So if this whole corner is 134, then this whole corner has to be a supplement to it. So you subtract 180 and 134 and you get 46. So the next one is ECD. So if I go look at C, I start at E, I go to C, I end at D, 71. And then the last one focuses on F. So over here, but I start at D, I go to F, I end at E. Yeah, what's there?
You have to do the same thing you did on the other side. So
You could, but if you know this is 46, this is 46 in total. So you could just minus 46 and 21. So how much is that? 25.
25.
63 is from if the whole angle is 134, right? I know this piece is 71. 71 and 63 make 134. And that's from like this extra piece of information at the bottom. So the angles are a little tricky. Trickier than the sides. Okay. So what we're going to do for the next one. So that way you can practice just the angles instead of like having sides and angles everywhere. What I want to do is I'm actually going to like cut off half of this problem. We're not going to do the sides because like those are obviously easy. And whenever I have a zillion numbers on a picture, I think it just confuses everybody. So I'm going to cross out the sides. We're not going to do the sides for this one. We're just going to do the angles for number 5. So we have to start by putting the angles in the proper location on the picture. So see if you can just figure out where they're supposed to go. There are 3-letter angles. This is how it's going to be on the EOC. You need to be able to conclude this and like know where it goes on the picture. So just try to put your numbers in. Is it like a really bad player? Can someone knows them? There's like the number thing going on board. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, there's more. Hold on, where you're at. That's why you should get close. Is that better? Is it just this one then? Okay. That close a moment. So Z is what I'm talking about. Z's here, but it goes W, Z, Y. So this whole thing should be 72, not a piece of it, the whole thing. Because it's all the outside letters, W, Z, Y. The next one is focused on X, but it says WXT. So it's not the whole thing. It's just this top slice of pizza. And then ZW, where the heck? ZWT. So it's focusing on W, but it's just this piece. So this is where you should have your numbers. So you should have 59 just in that little piece. You should have 35 just in that little piece. And then the whole thing is 72. So move your numbers around. You're jumping across the transversal. 35, or not 35, that's 35. That was 35. 35 can jump across and go underneath. I can jump across and go to the right at the bottom. Yeah. So 35 should move here. 59 should move here. You're trying to find your missing pieces, so keep going. Right. You can minus from 180 to find the whole other thing. See if you could fill in your stuff. Like, here. Oh, I get something here about Oh, that's a 35. I know, it looks ugly. That's a 35. 3. That's a 3. 35. Yes. That's perfect. That. Okay, so let's start going over it. Okay, you should bare minimum, you should have that. Okay, bare minimum like this, you should have. Okay, if this whole thing is 72 and this is 35, how much is this other piece? 37. 37 can jump across to go over here. Okay, so when you find something, move it because it's a puzzle. It matches. So if this whole thing's 72, this is 35. If I minus them, I get 37. 37 can jump across over here. Now you got to do that little trick where it's like, and it doesn't matter if you look to the side, to the, like, I don't care, you're picking something. This angle total and this angle total need to add to make 180. You can either look at these two or you can look at these two. Or you can look at these two. Honestly, it doesn't freaking matter. One side of it has to total to 180. If this whole thing is 72 down here, how much is total is this? 108. So this needs a different color. This whole section is 108. And I would have gave you colored pencils today, but they're not sharp enough to like really like write all these little numbers. So that whole thing is 108. So then how much is the other side of that? Like 49. And then 49 can jump across and go under. So Try to put your answers in. You have to be able to read 3-letter angles. Yes. Yes. Bring your phone, take a pass. So try to fill in your answers. Because if the whole thing is 108, and I knew this was 59, 59 minus from 108 gets me 49, because they have to add together to make 108. Are we having fun? I am. So TZY focuses on Z. Z is here. If I start at T, go to Z, and at Y, 35. The next one is focused on Y. You're starting at X, you're going to Y, you're ending at Z. 108, because it's a whole thing. The next one, you're focused on W, but you're starting at X, you're going to W, you're ending at T. 49. And then last one, you're focused on Y, and then it's X, Y, T. 59. So, try the next one. Put your numbers in your picture. This is the last really angular one. Yep. Put your numbers in number 6. See if you can at least put them in the proper spot. Your angle should be looking like this. The little skinny piece at the top is 34. The whole J is 124, and then 79 is kind of awkward. 79 is inside this little shape. So it's like this corner in the shape. Okay, so what number can move? 34 can move across the transversal. Huh? Technically, 124 is all of G. So if I want to put that up here, that whole thing is 124. Technically, 79 could move because vertical angles are congruent, but I'm not going to do that because the picture's going to look crazy. But you could move it over here because vertical angles are congruent because the crisscross from chapter 2. Okay. So does anybody have an idea of what I could start with? Is you got to think a little how 180 minus 79. But what would that find? That would find the other side of K. Okay, so like technically what she's saying is that this is like a straight line. So if I like cover up this picture, like that's a straight line. If this is 79, how much is on the other side where literally K is at? So 101 can go here. Technically 101 could go here because vertical angles are congruent. I guess I will put it in the picture. So technically vertical angles are congruent. Does anybody else have an idea of where it could go? Because I got to find the angles in the corners of the parallelogram. Hold on, wait, I can't hear. Okay, what? Oh, okay. So if this is 124, how much is like this angle in total? 56. So then if this is 34 and that's 56, how much is this little tiny piece? 22. And 22 can go here. Does anybody have a big enough brain to figure out how I can find that those last little corners? No.
Isn't G?
G, yeah, G is 124. Wait, what? No, you can't divide by 2 because it's not a bisector. Somebody's got to be smart enough in this class. This is 5th period. You guys are my smartest. How do I find these last? It doesn't matter which one, but I need something here and I need something here on either side. Huh? It's a triangle. Wait a minute.
Pythagorean.
No, not Pythagorean.
All equal 180.
They should add to make 180. Oh, there's like chapter 4. I don't even know what chapter. I think it's chapter 3. So if it's a triangle, all of these are technically triangles. So if this is 34, this is 79, how much is that missing side?
67.
So that's 67. Now you can find this, and then you can jump across the transversal because the triangles technically match because it's the same triangle on the other side. So I told you after break, it's going to be adding all the chapters together. So how much is on the other side of 67? 58. And then transversals jump. So flip them. And then it's 67. 67. So try to fill in your answers. So take a minute, see if you can fill in the correct. You have all the numbers now. So try to see if you can fill out the correct answers. You
How
need
do
to be
you
able to
apply that?
you need to, what do you mean? So F is where it's focused.
That's 34, right? Sweet.
And it's G, F, J. No, it's not 34 because it's all the outside letters. G, F, J is how much total? 56. So take a minute, see if you can fill in these. You need to be able to read 3-letter angles. It's focused on the middle, but you use the other letters to figure out which direction it's talking about. Is it 57 or is it 58?
Yeah, I got 57.
Oh, it's 57. That's great. I'm like trucking you guys. Is it 56? Hold on, wait. 124. Let me check. 124 minus 67 is 57. It should be 57. Because it's 124 in total. Yeah, I know. There you go. So it's a 57.
That's the affordable. They can talk.
How much is FPH? 124. How much is
34.
HFJ? 34. HK. HKJ. HKJ is 101. Let me zoom out a little. The next one is JGH67. The next one is FGJ 57. FHJ 22, and then GJF 67. How do we feel?
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys are the only class I did number 6 with. So it's because you guys are big brains. Everybody else is small brains. So let's go to the back. On the back, we are not going to do all of these. They are not all the same. So you cannot just use the same process every single time. So we're going to set up a couple of them and then you guys are just going to work on them. So let's start with, obviously, number 7 is easy peasy because what are you going to do with that? Equal them. I'm not going to do that because you can do that. Okay, let's set up number 9. So number 9, take a second, put your information in your picture. T to V is 74. That whole line is 74. WV is 4x plus 1. There are 4 different ways to go about this problem. Does anybody have an idea? Yeah. So if this is a small piece, you can either add it twice or you can double it and then equal it to 74. Or you could take 74, you could cut it in half and just equal it to that amount. There's like 4 different ways to solve it because we're getting to the point of the year where it's not just one way or the highway. It's whatever you want. As long as it makes mathematical sense to some extent. That's easy. Let's set up another one. Another one.
Wait,
Okay, take a second, Salt. Yeah.
Could you divide 74 by 2 instead of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you could take 74, cut it in half, just get the little amount of the line and equal it to that segment. You get the same thing. No, it's not supposed to be a decimal. You should get 9. Because it's 8x plus 2, so you should minus 2. So you probably got down to 76, but it's 72. Did you bring down to 72?
I didn't do it that much.
yo, find YZ is also really easy.
Yeah.
Remember.
No, listen, they're not that bad. Let's go to 12. We're gonna set up 12. 12, you have to find R. What should you do with this? Good, because they're on the same side. This one is obtuse. Shh, be quiet. This one's obtuse. This one's. They're not the same. They're not congruent. They're supplementary because they're on the same side. It's half the shape. So if I cover up literally half of it makes 180. So you're going to add them, make 180. That was easy. And then you do need to plug it back in to find angle R. So which one would you plug it into to find R? P, because P is the same as R. Because opposite angles are congruent. So R technically matches P. So you should plug it into P.
Bro.
Yeah. You should have 11x minus 7 equals 180. Yes. Yes. So
But we're doing all of these. right?
yeah, we're doing all of them. So when you're done with that one, try 13. This is the last one I'm setting up for you. So take a minute, put your number in your picture that they gave you, and try to use your brain to figure out how you could find. Yeah. So try to set up 13. Try to think about what you could do for 13 because 13 is different. R is the same as P because opposite. Or you can plug it in here with a minus from one to find that equals. I think you can do either way. It doesn't matter. That smells like really good. Oh, I think it's my pineapple actually. Mhm. I think it's like. Oh, it's a cinnamon roll. Wow. I never read it. My mom gave it to me for Christmas and I just threw it in my thing and I opened the box today.
Do you like
I do love cinnamon rolls. And I was like, it finally broke the surface. It's like, and I was like, it sure like a cinnamon roll.
Yo, I have like a really good bar of soap that makes my whole house smell good.
Like cinnamon rolls?
No, it's just like a good. It's like sandalwood.
we doing more questions tomorrow?
No, you're doing the whole thing today. Okay.
I meant like
More practice?
More practice.
We're basically going to do every shape for 2 days. So parallelograms for 2 days. Next week we'll do rectangles for 2 days. Then we'll do rhombus and squares together because they're very similar for 2 days. I think rhombus and squares we only do for 1 day. I don't know. Okay, so for this one, KLH is 134. KLH, this whole corner is 134. Does anybody have any idea of what I could do for this problem? Okay, move your angles. 25 can go here. 4x plus 9 can technically go here. Ashton, what do you think? Okay, so H and L together should make 180. So if this is 134, then how much is this whole angle? You could So, okay, so this is how much over here? 46. So technically this is 21. So this is where like your brain can think a bunch of different ways. Okay. So really quick, you could do what you just said. You could add both of these. So I'm going to write all the equations down. Don't write them all down. You're going to pick one. So I could say 134 plus 25 plus 4x plus 9 equals 180 because you can combine everything. Ashton took it a step further. He knew that this is 134, so I know this amount is 46. And then he also knew that this was 25, so then he knows this angle has to make 21. So, or you could just do 4x plus 9 equals 21. Or, oh, sorry. Or you could just add these and equal to 46. So you could do 25 plus 4x plus 9 equals 46. So this is the point in geometry, kind of like algebra, like you could do it a million different ways and they're all going to lead you to the same exact answer. Any of those equations will get you the same answer. So pick one. How did I get what? Because if this together, do you know how I got 46? Okay, so let's start there. So if this is 34, this and this angle need to add to make 180. So if I have half my picture, 134 and 46 make 180.
Oh, I see.
Okay. If this is 46, and I know this is 25, 25 plus 21 makes 46. So it's whatever your brain is thinking, that'll like roll with it. You got to go at this point of the year, everybody's gonna be doing things differently, but it all makes sense. Yes. Yes, from your phone. Okay, go. Boom. Let me know if you get stuck. Let me know if you need assistance. Let me know if you need help. You got this. I believe in you. We're doing all of them. You're a genius. Fifth period.